I'm curious, how is your social media presence? Social media presence. I know we've been grinding it out, making calls, connecting with people, but wouldn't it be nice to get those, hey, come list me calls, or like I'm a real serious buyers. And really what it comes down to is, have you controlled the narrative when people type in your name? Right? We talk about a Google My Business page and making sure that we control the narrative on that, right? Putting some reviews, putting some content out there. We look at our Instagram, our Facebook, TikTok. Are you on TikTok? Did you know that the average person on TikTok is between the age of 38 and 55? Happens to be the demographics that is buying homes right now. So do you have all the different social media platforms in a way that if I came and just typed in your name, hey, I can see everything and I know it's you? If not, then we really need to look at that and do sort of an audit. That being said, are you putting out content on a regular basis? Do you have regular content going on and distributing across all the different platforms? Right? I know that some of us, you know what, you may love Instagram and never on Facebook, and that's cool, right? It doesn't really matter which platform that you like. What matters here is, how do we make the reach bigger? How do we get out there? Are you putting out content on, let's say, LinkedIn or Twitter, right? Because those are also big platforms, right? People who are in the LinkedIn kind of sphere, and that's their go-to, more professionals. Wouldn't you want to work with more professionals? Right? It's surprising me how, hey, I stick to what I like. And I'm like, well, why? If you're creating the content anyways, why not just put it on all the platforms? Right? We've talked about this in the past. And when you create a piece of content, right, are you multi-purposing that? Like, for example, you create a YouTube show, right? Are you taking the time to have that show, taking just the audio, for example, and creating a podcast with it, right? Are you taking let's say just the words, a transcription of that video and creating a blog for it? Like, that's how you multi-purpose that. Are you cutting out some snippets of that show and then putting it on different kind of smaller platforms like TikTok for 10 seconds or Reels for 20 seconds, right? Are you doing that? Is that being done? If not, why not? What's the point of creating the content if you're not going to put it out there on all the different channels? Right? It's really something to think about, it, because at the end of the day, what we want to do is obviously have an active approach to generating leads without question, but we need this passive approach of getting the leads to come to you. And what we've been saying in the past is, quite simply, any leads that you get organically from your social media posts or just putting out the content, any leads that come from online or social media organically are just as good as a referral from your past clients, right? Because they've see you, they're familiar with you, they see the frequency that you're throwing in there, and when you add in familiarity plus the frequency, that equals trust. The trust is being built there, right? Because of all the different platforms, because of all the content you're putting out there, and they're just as good as a referral. So something to think about. Just wanted to pop that in there. Does anyone have any questions, anything in their business that they need help with? No, you guys all good? All right. So today on today's call, I want to go over, how to create some confidence in this kind of crazy world that we're in right now. Right. I'm going to share there's nothing really, outstanding here. It's not like one or 2 points. I actually have like 20 different little things that you can do to help you build confidence. But realistically, right, when people don't feel confident about what they're supposed to be doing, they often freeze up and they don't do anything at all. And this is for your clients and possibly for yourself. Right? The chances are there's too many, consumers, or they're lacking the confidence of either trying to buy or sell a home. They're kind of frozen. They're not sure what to do. And the goal here really is to start building some confidence, but I'm going to start with you, right? I'll share some examples on how we can continue to take action and instill some confidence in the consumers. But really, it comes down to you, right? How do we instill some confidence in you first, so that you can become that leader in your marketplace, so that you can resonate with more people, so that you can, be that example in your marketplace. So there's no, order of importance here. I'm just going to go down the list. I may not get through all 20, or maybe I will, right? And I'm just going to share some tips on how to create some confidence in yourself. So top of your page, just write down ways to create confidence in this crazy ass world of ours, right? So the first one I wrote down is take your meds. Take your meds. And I know, I've probably said this already 1,000 times to you, but it is extremely important, right? If you're not taking care of yourself, then you're going to be sluggish. You're not going to be at your top performance. And at the end of the day, you're not going to get the results. And the problem with that is it's not instilling confidence in others. So real important is take your meds. What does that mean? Well, meditate, exercise, watch your diet, and get enough sleep. Like, those are your meds. You need to be working on your mind. You need to be working on your body. You need to take care of your diet, and you definitely need more sleep, right? So taking your meds would be number one. Number two, I wrote down is role play. Role play. See, in today's environment, where we are right now, the market's shifting, and it's becoming more of a skill-based market. Because of that, you really do need to take the time to have, in your arsenal, the different closes to get an appointment, the different ways to handle a specific objection. You need to have in your arsenal a better way of asking questions, so that you can pace and lead a conversation to ultimately getting you the end result that you're looking for. So I would definitely say role playing. Now, role playing, I love role playing. You pick a partner, you practice scenarios, you practice your scripts and dialogues, and you just get better at this. I would take this a step further and probably have you record yourself making the calls, and then watching back or listening back to that conversation, and then critiquing yourself. It's all about improving your skill set, right? I think here on the call, I think Carmen's on the call. I asked her to do that. I asked her to kind of take a look at the scripts and dialogues that she would like to improve. She took it even to another step further by recording in her own voice the scripts and dialogues that she would like to improve upon, played some classical music in the background, and then all you're doing is listening back to that, right? Using the classical music in the background, her voiceover, and recording herself saying the scripts. That gets embedded in your mind, right? It's a really great technique. Right. All right. So that's tip number two. Number three is be true to yourself. Trying to be something that you're not is not going to convey confidence in anyone. Right. I mean, at the end of the day, right, you need to be you. You need to feel and act the way you do, because this is your wheelhouse. So figuring out what it is that you're really good at. Right. And I have some people who are outstanding in front of a camera. They love this. This is their wheelhouse. They have no problems being in front of the camera. Great. I really hope you shoot more video, do lots of video. But then some of us is like, hey, Danny, I know I need to do video, but that's not my wheelhouse. That's not something that I'm really comfortable doing. Well, whether it's in front of a camera or not is irrelevant. That's not the point. But be you when in front of a camera, right? You're not supposed to be this who you're not, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, some people are expressives. They're going to be on the camera. They're going to be expressives. That's who they are. That's okay. That's them. But be you. If you're more amiable and you are more factual, then be that. Put up the facts. Whether you're in camera or not camera is irrelevant. It's just a camera recording you. But what will happen is you're going to attract your tribe. This is your vibe, and it's going to attract your tribe, plain and simple. So some people are going to dismiss you and say, don't like how factual they are, how analytical they may be. And that's great. You know what that's called? That's called qualifying. It's pre-qualifying the appointment. It's pre-qualifying the client. So just be yourself, be you, because you're awesome. So just be you, right? All right, number 4, on how to create confidence. I would say lean in to the ecosystem that we have, the Tom Ferry ecosystem, right? How often are you posting on the elite page or the core page of the Tom Ferry, right? Are you reading the posts and what people are saying? Are you putting your spin on things and telling people and asking questions and being engaging in the ecosystem? The ecosystem is there for you. It's probably the best tool that we have, right? Asking people, what are the best practices right now that they're using? They'll share, right? Our ecosystem is amazing. People will share. If you're kind of curious, it's like, hey, what sort of geographical farm area? I'm sending out flyers. Hey, what's working for you right now? Because things change. And asking the ecosystem will be a powerful tool, right? Even going as far as finding a accountability partner within the ecosystem. That would be a powerful tool to use. So tip number 4 is lean into the ecosystem. All right, tip number 5. Don't operate from fear. Don't operate from fear. Remember that fear leads to anxiety, and anxiety is definitely a deal killer, right? So even if you're making yourself vulnerable, like let's say getting on camera, right? Make sure that you come across, as if you're not fearful, right? Because fearful is the unknown. When you use upswings in your language, that causes uncertainty, that causes fear, that causes anxiety, right? Speak with authority, right? Be you, but most importantly, don't operate from fear. Operate from confidence, like you know what's going on. And confidence comes from educating yourself and knowing the facts, right? Most fear is basically the unknown, and people fear change because it's unknown. But if you find out the facts, you find out the truth about it, and you find out, hey, the core reason for this, you're not operating from fear anymore. You're operating from confidence. All right, tip number 6, next one. This one's going to be very useful. I'm going to say that this is probably the most important one I have here. I mean, all of them are pretty good, but this one here, number 6, is you need to start using NLP in your language. Does anyone know what NLP is? What NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, right? By using NLP in your language, you will start building more confidence. And I'll tell you what I mean. Examples of NLP would be when having conversations with the client. You're going to start to mirror and match them more often. You're going to mirror and match their volume. You're going to mirror and match their rate of speech, right? You want to synchronize yourself with the client, right? You want to be working as in service for them versus it's about me, right? If you have a specific way of talking, we want to start building better rapport with our clients. Now, why? Well, the big one is you're building trust with people, right? People want to work with people who are like themselves. So when you mirror and match their tonality, their rate of speech, their pronunciations of words, what tends to happen is they become more familiar with you. That builds trust, right? And the key with that is now you don't need to have as many conversations with people. You just need to be more in tune to who they are. Right. So number 6 is start putting NLP to use whenever possible, everywhere that you can. Right. Number 7 I wrote down is see things as they are. See, there's a tendency for some people, especially in times like we are right now, to over exaggerate the problem, to say, hey, this is what's going on, right? Also, as realtors, it's not uncommon that we want to sugarcoat or minimize it, right? Neither one builds any sort of confidence. So we don't want to over exaggerate. And of course, we don't want to minimize. The best is to just basically see it as what it is. See things as they are. Share the facts, no emotion. Here's what's going on. When you do that, when you see things as they are, here's the facts. This is what's going on, folks. Inflation's going up. Why? Why is inflation going up? Sorry. Why is inflation, interest rates going up? It's because of inflation. So we have to combat the inflation because that's the cost of goods. So the US government and the Canadian government have to increase interest rates. It is what it is. That's the only way we'll be able to control inflation, right? We don't want to be in a situation like Venezuela, where inflation has gone up to 75%, right? Granted, the US is 8.5%, and that is probably the highest it's been in, I think it was like 40 years or 30 years. It's crazy. And Canada's at 5.7%. Seems high. It is. I mean, everything's gone up 5%. Everything's gone up 8.5%. That's what it is. So we increase interest rates to combat that, to bring the cost down. That's all it is. But if you know the facts, you don't have to over exaggerate or sugarcoat it. You just basically tell the people the facts, and that builds confidence, right? Next tip I have here, number 8, and it's kind of playing what I just said, is simply rely on the facts, right? Facts, data, statistics, they're your friends right now. Use that to your advantage. Let the clients know, hey folks, this is normal. This is what's going on. This is why it's happening, right? Stick to the facts because that's going to build confidence. Go back, learn about what's happened in times like these, right? When was the last time we had this scenario, right? What were the facts? Okay. Tip number 9, I wrote down here is sharpen your axe. Right? Sharpen your axe. And in this case, what we want to do is simply improve our skill set. Kind of talked about this a little bit, right? Sharpen your axe, get more skillful, learn how to pace and lead conversations, learn how to use tie downs in your presentations, right? A tie down is just a short statement that you would use to get the person to agree to you. Like, for example, if I'm doing a listing presentation and I'm sharing my marketing plan, this is the marketing plan, and I would say to the client, isn't this what you want from a marketing plan? Isn't this what you want? Will be considered the tie down. That is a technique to get them to say yes and agree to you, right? When sharing the commission, for example, and you go and explain it to the client and you're saying, doesn't this make sense? And they're like, yes, this makes sense. They're tying down that makes sense. We now can move on. And that is the goal when you're presenting is to get that yes. So tip number 9 is sharpen your axe. I'll give you one more, last one. And that is serve with love and compassion. Okay, serve with love and compassion. If you focus on helping others, if your focus is legit with empathy, I just want to help you, right? It's not about the money. It's not about what I make. It's not, I know you have a need, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. I know you have this need. And I'm generally just want to help you and serve you and make sure that you can move on, right? And have a great experience with this. So it's serve with love and compassion. At the end of the day, folks, that builds confidence like crazy. All right. Does anyone have any questions regarding how do we build confidence in the crazy ass market that we're in right now? No, you guys all good? Any questions in general with your business that you need help with? No? Well, I thank all of you for being on the call. Please unmute yourselves. I'm excited. It's hump day, baby. You guys ready? All right. Please share with me. What day is today, baby?
It's money-making day.
Money-making day.
That's right. It's a money-making day. So who do you have to connect with today to move the needle in your business? You guys are awesome. I'll talk to all of you on Monday. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank